from 2009 to 2010, I was in elite trafficking. In 2010, I was sold to Russia, and I ran. I was on my own in 2010 until 2011. I left Child Protective Services custody for a year. I went missing. Are we all together? This is an interactive portion. Can you give me a little? You got me over here? Are y'all good? You got that?
Is anybody confused?
No, seriously. Seriously, is everybody good? We good? Are y'all still with us? Right here? Yeah? I see a little. Okay. Cool. Yeah? 2010, I was in the missing child system for Riverside, California. Riverside County Child Protective Services. No one looked for me. No one was throwing a tantrum. No, the only person that gave a damn, and we have the reports, we have the voicemails, we have the transcript of the voicemails between a fake ass mom and a real mom. This one right here. Okay? When the fake mother called in, it was I don't give a shit. When she called in, we have the transcript of her telling them, hello, what are y'all doing? She was being trafficked. Why aren't you guys looking for her? They took us out of they took me. I say us, I mean us.
Alters.
Us. Not us. Us. You with me?
Inside
I'm so
us.
serious. I'm so serious. I'm trying to help people understand. For real. They took me out of the missing children system because of who I was, what my ties were, what you're seeing, the evil that you're seeing right now. They went ahead and just snatched me out of the system. No one threw a fit. No one looked for me. No one cared. The only person that was trying their best to still say, hey, where the hell are you? Was this one. Right here. Right here. My mom cared. Okay? Are you still with us? Yeah? In 2011, I was by myself, homeless, eating out of trash cans, sleeping in playgrounds, doing what I needed to do, and other people were helping. Now, at this time, I can't tell you who that was, of course, because I needed to do what I needed to do to stay alive. Right? So in 2011, I called CPS back and said, hey, I can't do this anymore. So I need to come back and we need to figure some shit out. You with me? Okay. Then I went with my mom. You got that on the paper? Write that down. Right? You need that. Write that down. You really need that. I'm serious. All this is connecting. We're helping you. Okay? Write it down. Now, let's continue. Carry on, Mom. Carry on.
So in 2011, she was placed with me. She was about 17. She had to go into high school.
Flag on the play. Wait. I'm sorry. In 2011, they put me back in a group home in Jurupa Valley, California.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, hold on. Flag on the play because we got to tell that one. That's Mr. Misunderstood. Hi. I know you're watching. Hello. Yes, hello. That was Mr. Misunderstood and his whole entire family. I met him, the son, in high school. I went to Nuevo Vista High School.
Well, the son was too old to be at the school,
He
but
was
he
super
would
senior.
hang around the school scouting
He
for
was
kids.
super senior. If anybody remembers super seniors, they're grown adult men that still go to the high school that they failed to get it together in. Okay, so
Scouting.
He was there. I met him. You know, needed someone to talk to. Just came back. Needed someone to care. And I started talking to him. He took me home to hang out. I met his mom and his dad. And his sister Emily was dead at the time. His mom, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, okay? Let's be real here. Let's be adults Can we be adults? Y'all ready for adult conversations? If I have kids on here, I love you dearly. I know there's my dance kids are sitting here. I know you're sitting here. But if you are not 18 years old, I need you to walk away from this part of the conversation. Do you hear me? I love y'all. I know you're sitting here. So if you are sitting here, I need you to earmuffs for this part of the conversation because this is the adult part. Can we move them, please? Okay, cool. As an adult, let's talk. All right? I was a child. I was 17. But as an adult, we went to his house not to just have a tea party, to Netflix and chill. Yeah? Okay? We were in the shower and he had OCD. We were both in the shower together, okay? There was soap on my feet and he lost his shit because in the middle of us in the shower together, there was soap on my feet. He got up and left me at his house. And was just like, I need you to get that soap off your feet. I need to go. Okay? I stayed in his room, high as hell, and waited for him to come back home. His mom came in the room, and I woke up to her face between my legs. I flipped the hell out. I pushed her off. I started saying, I need to go. I didn't know you were here. This is my first time meeting his mom. That was weird, right? Not the way you want to meet somebody's mom. And I was like, I gotta go. I'm so sorry. Like, I gotta go. And she cried. When I went and talked to him, Isaiah. Hi, Isaiah. When I went to talk to him about what happened with his mom, he said, don't freak out. She just lost my sister, Emily. Don't freak out. She's having a hard time right now. She just lost my sister. He told me, come back over my house. My mom and my dad will be getting off of work. He's a pediatrician in Norco, California. When my dad gets off work, he wants to meet you and we're all going to have dinner. Okay? I go back to the house and now we're playing house at this point because his whole family is telling me you're in a group home. You can come here. Everybody acted like everything was normal. It's fine.
So after she ran away and was missing for a year, CPS said, come back in. We're going to put you in a group home until we clear Shelly's house, until we get her fingerprints.
Background check.
Do the background check. So it'll be a couple months maybe. So that's what happened. So that was in the beginning, and I was working on the process of getting fingerprinted, getting the house inspected, all of that.
So if I would have told my social worker, instead of going back over and trying to quiet the situation myself as a 17-year-old child, I went back to his house. We had dinner. And I talked to his family about what was going on. I could not call my social worker because I just came from a year AWOL. So I would have been in trouble.
Nice.
I was on a probation period. When I came back, I had to work my program. And the program they put you on in the group home, I was in a high-level group home. Almost a lockdown group home, but they put me back. I think it was a level 10 in Harufa Valley. Level 14 is locked down. Level 11 is kind of locked down, but level 10 is kind of You just got to follow the rules. Don't get in trouble. Don't fight. Don't ditch. Don't do bad things. You know? So I had to follow my program. So if I would have came to them and said, hey, my boyfriend's mother put her face between my legs and I pushed her, I would have been in trouble.
That would have been more paperwork.
Yes.
That would have been moving a placement. And they were already mad about that.
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, a lot. So, sorry, it's getting hot. It's getting a little warmer. You warm? I'm warm. So I didn't tell them. I tried to handle the situation myself because it would have messed up me going home to my mom. Yes? Are you with me? Are y'all still with me? Interactive portion. The comments are on right here. So are y'all with me? Yes? We're clear? Okay, cool. So I didn't go and tell my social worker anything. I tried to go handle the situation myself. They
didn't tell me either.
Worse.
Until later.
Yeah. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell anybody.
I would have raised holy
hell.
Yeah,
and I knew she would have. She would have called the police the way she did on my pimp when I was 15. So I didn't say shit. I was just like, it's fine. Mom, I have a boyfriend. and his family lets me come over and hang out. That was what I told her and everyone else. Okay? Until after I think about 4 months, 3 or 4 months with them, and stuff was happening every single day, I became married to Isaiah, and then I became their foster daughter, who they said they were going to adopt, and then they told me we were all getting married, and I became their wife. All of them. His mom too. And his dad. And family time was orgies. Okay? So I didn't tell anybody. I stayed quiet because I didn't want to get in trouble. I had to make sure that my grades were still okay. I had to make sure that I wasn't acting funny because somebody was going to report on that. I had to make sure that when my social worker came, I wasn't getting in trouble. I had to make sure that if he put his hands on me, I covered up everything. I made sure there was no physical bruises that anybody could see, because I made sure that I wasn't going to mess up at 17 years old going home while everything was in the process, until I found out they killed their daughter. You want to talk about the shed that's in the back of the house? Mr. Misunderstood? No? Okay, cool. So, so when I found that out, and they used to lock me with a deadbolt in her room that still had all of her stuff in it, all of her Hello Kitty stuff in it. They had a deadbolt on her door. So anytime that I came to the house and I did something that they considered wrong, they would lock me in her room, and then his mom would come upstairs and hurt me. Are we all clear on what hurt means? Yeah? Okay. If we're not, let me help you. I'm smiling because I'm starting to get sweaty because I'm telling you a wound. Okay? We're opening an old scar that I don't really like to open, but here we are. Okay? So she had a sex dungeon, a sex closet that had many different sex toys in it. And if I pissed her off, I would be in trouble. And when he got home, he was a pediatrician. He had these little brown bottles that he would bring home with drugs in them. They would sometimes give me those drugs, put me in the bathtub, and we would all be in the bathtub together until one night they drowned me, and then he had to resuscitate me.
And we'll talk about the bathtub programming in a minute.
Finally, I had enough, because after 3 or 4 months, they told me they were going to adopt me. I started telling my group home staff, like, hey, if you see him, I don't want to go with him. I could not go with my mom because we had supervised visits. So at the time, I could not call her. I could not do anything until it was a supervised visit.
So it was usually once a week. Like, they have this whole process that you have to go through. So while the fingerprints were doing their fingerprinting thing and the background check was background checking, I was allowed to have 1 hour a week visits with her, and then that gradually increased
to 2 hours, to 3 hours.
As long as she wasn't getting in trouble, we could still have the visits. So it was a lot.
But then my boyfriend, his mom, his dad, or anybody else could pick me up. I had day passes. If you are familiar with foster care, there's something called a day pass, and there's something called a community pass. Okay? The day pass, you can leave for, like, they say 4 hours. Your social worker gives you 4 hours to just go walk around the city, to go do whatever you want. But in that 4 hours, you need to do whatever you're going to do and get back to your group home. A community pass is you can leave for the day, you can get a bus pass from your social worker if you'd like, and you can do whatever the hell you want to do. However, I had to have supervised visits with my mom. I could be in the world doing whatever I wanted to do, dealing with people like this. But if my mom came to the house or called me outside of our ordered supervised visits, then that was wrong. After a point of dealing with, what happened was they made a party. They threw me an engagement/adoption party. I've been proposed to and engaged so many damn times. It's crazy. It's thick. And if you're looking at this ring right now, because I know a lot of you are, it's a purity ring. I've been through so much hell that I haven't had sex in 10 years, 9 or 10 years. Don't want to.
That kind of negates the pregnancy thing, but that's a whole.
Yeah, that's a whole other situation. That's a whole. I was just fat. It's just fat. But I, I can't get pregnant. Everybody knows that because I was raped in a closet by someone's boyfriend when I was still in the in this bio family's home while she was in the bathtub. Okay.
Again with the bathtub. So the bathtub is a theme, and we're going to talk about that.
I was raped with a hanger in my own closet. So no, I can't have kids. Everyone knows that. I used to think that was a bad thing that everybody knows that, but it is what it is. I can't have kids. It won't work. So no, I'm not pregnant. No, I'm not married to anybody. I'm married to Jesus. It's a purity ring. Okay. But after the adoption / engagement party and all these people came over and everybody was saying, congratulations, you're going to get adopted. I almost lost my shit. And his mom threw a glass off the sink, off the counter, and said I did it. In front of everyone, she told me to go upstairs. I was in trouble. Went upstairs to Emily's room. And while everybody was downstairs, I got in trouble from the sex closet. Are we still together on what happened? She didn't take me up there to have a stern conversation. Do we get that? Okay, cool. After that, I went back to my social workers and I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. They're going to kill me. Okay? And I've been lying to you about being okay. I'm not okay. You have to do something now. She told me, wait a minute, the paperwork is in process. At 17 years old, in 2011, I took off. I ran to my mom. I called her and I said, I don't give a shit what anybody says. You can call the police to meet me there. I am not dealing with these people one more time. I'm coming home. I called my social worker. JS, you know who you are. I called my social worker, Miss Strupp, Miss Castro. When I got to my mom's home, I called them and I said, I am not doing this shit anymore. I'm home and I'm going to stay here. And they said, yes, you are. We have ordered a SILP placement. SILP. Write it down. SILP. It is an adult placement for foster care. SILP. You got that? You wrote that down? Yeah? Okay. I called her and I said, I'm not doing this. She said, I already ordered the SILP placement. It's okay. You can stay. I was livid because I'm like, after all this time, after all the hell I just put up with, after everything that you have given me and this woman, after all the shit that y'all know, now I can stay? Yes. Because they didn't want to deal with the paperwork of what was back in Jurupa Valley, California. You get what I'm saying? So in 2011, I went home. By this time, I barely had 12 credits. You need, in foster care, I think you need 260. Is that, am I right? 230, 260, something around there?
Something around there, I don't remember.
As a normal kid, to graduate high school in California, in the state of California. As a foster kid, you need 160 or 150, something around there. They give foster kids a little bit of a break.
They cut out the electives.
Yes. So, I think it's the AB 147 law or AB 12 law. Those are probably two different laws. Just look them up. I don't know which one is what. Don't quote me on that. But point is I didn't have enough credits to even be a senior. Okay. In 2011, I went home to my mom after all that happened, and it was time for me to graduate high school. I had to shove 4 years worth of high school in 2011 till 2012 in June is when I was supposed to graduate. They told me I was not going to make it. There's no way you can make it. You only have 12 credits as a senior. I graduated 2 weeks before my graduating class. Because from 7 o'clock in the morning until I could barely keep my eyes open, I did all my work because my mom told me I had to. My mom was like, I'd be damned. You are not going to be a statistic society. We are not doing this. You are going to graduate high school. And then my teacher at Summit View High School, are you with me? Summit View High School is where I graduated from. My diploma is up on my series on Allie'sArmy.com. That series was made by everyday people. Don't get crazy. Okay? We don't have white hats. We don't have people working with us. It is just me and her. Okay? Plus everyday people. All right? So if you go look, my diploma from Summit View High School in Riverside, California is up. And in that time, I graduated 2 weeks with honors before my class because I busted out all my work. My teacher told me I was pretty enough to go work for Hooters. It wasn't going to work for me. He was like, you can't. My mom flew into the school, gave him a little bit of education, and I ended up graduating early. All right? Because I worked my ass off. In 2012, I was working extremely hard, and I graduated at Gage Middle School because Summit View High School is a continuation school. So if you look, and if you live in Riverside, you know Summit View sits across the street from Gage. Okay? Some of you walked over to Gage, and we did our graduation there in 2012. Are y'all still with us for this timeline? Cool. Mom, I'm sorry. Carry on.
So
my kids, hi. I love you. They can come back to this part.
In 2014 is when I adopted Allie. She wanted her name changed.
I didn't want nothing to do. Anything. Not a damn thing. If I could have changed my blood type, I would have. Okay? If I could have changed everything about myself. Do you understand what I'm saying? I wanted nothing to do with anyone, including my name. So I made the decision to change everything about my name. So yes, you all know my prior name was Tori Outlaw. My name now, my real name, my legal name, the one we gave you the case number for that you could check yourself at the Riverside County Court, is Allison Leilani Carter. And that is my name. That's who I am. My mom is Shelly Carter. Yes?
No name changes.
No name changes. None. I changed my name because I said my real mom and my real family, I'm a Carter. So for those of you who can't logically, 2 + 2 = 4, that's what happened. If
there's nothing nefarious, there's no big
I know
narrative
people
that
want that to be. I know people really want that to be because people couldn't fathom how a black child took off from the most racist black people that you will ever see. I want to say something real quick about these black people that I had to be in. Black Panthers that I had to be a part of. Okay? They are the most racist black people. And I understand, you guys know that with this Black Lives Matter issue, there's a lot of black people who honestly believe that white people are the problem. They don't feel like they're the problem. No, they're the most racist bunch. If we want to talk about a race war, they're the most racist bunch ever. There's few and far in between of black people that are not racist. Thank you to the angels that are a part of this army that I am talking to. Yes, but you will see for yourself, and you have seen for yourself, especially if this matches you, this skin right here, if this one matches you, then you will see for yourself how racist. There's a lot of very racist black people. We shouldn't have to have this conversation because we all bleed red. But unfortunately, in the world that we live in today, I have to tell y'all this, and like you don't already know. Yes? Who, I want to know, who has been a victim to some very racist black people? There's some racist white people. There's some racist Mexican people. There's some racist Indian people. It goes on and on and on.
I'm Gen X. It's either you're an asshole or you're not an asshole. I don't give a fuck what color you are. Asshole, not asshole.
But if you get down the line, it continues. Yes? So you'll see for yourself who has an issue with white blood. You'll see who has an issue with this color right here. By the way they talk. Listen to them. Follow along carefully. You will hear it. You will see it. And you will see how no matter what you say, no matter what happens, they're the ones that white person, that white man, that white woman stepped in and did what you couldn't do, what you failed to do, what you didn't have the balls to do, what you should have been doing. But instead of admitting that, instead of taking accountability, instead of being responsible for your wrongs, instead of knowing that you fucked up, you want to blame somebody else. And it has to be a color issue. When in reality, it's a humanity issue. It's a heart issue. It's your issue. So if you're hearing that, if you're witnessing that, if you've been a victim of that, I'm sorry.
Well,
as a black woman, I'm sorry. As a strong black woman that knows the definition of a human being, I'm sorry. Do you hear what I'm saying? As a woman, as a black woman who knows that I bleed red, just like this woman right here, just like you that's sitting on here that probably doesn't understand what I'm saying because you're sitting from somewhere else and you speak a different language, I'm sorry. Because I've seen many kids that weren't just black, that weren't just white, that weren't just Mexican and Indian and Hawaiian, and the list goes on, that have been in the middle of this bullshit. But that's the first thing somebody wants to holler is the color of their skin. They don't holler what's wrong. They don't want to talk about what didn't go right. They don't want to talk about who's at fault for what the fuck happened. They want to talk about a color issue. But in reality, it's a heart issue. It's a you issue. But you want to blame somebody. So we jump on a slave bandwagon. But we don't talk about the real slavery that's going on today. Okay? So before you guys, some of you are like, this is a race. It's not a race issue. It's not. But someone wants to make it that way because they're weaponizing people. And majority of those people are, guess what? Black. Majority of the people that you see that are calling for death threats on this woman are black. The majority of the people that you see, there's a few minions that are white. Trust and believe that. They got problems. They just got problems. But the ones that you the ones that you see right now that won't stop their bullshit, majority of them are black people. Are you with me? That are one of the angels, he's Asian. One of the angels had to tell me that's the first time I've ever seen a black man take up for another black woman was to have the balls to talk shit on you. That's the first time I've seen a black man actually talk about another black woman, was to take them down. The only time that I've ever seen another black man have the balls to stand up for another black woman is the few that we know that are in this army. That came from an Asian man. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Are you with me? You get me? This is the war. This is the shit that we're in. So right now we have a bunch of people on platforms weaponizing black people that holler about racism, that holler about being taken down. They don't want to talk about what goes on in their own house. No. We can't talk about that. That doesn't exist. Why? Because they want to say it's a white person issue. It's a white thing. We don't want to talk about when somebody is raped in a black household. I'm so sorry. I told my kids to come back. I love you. Move, please. Miss Justice, Miss Allie need a minute. Move, please. I love you. If you are under the age of 18, move, please. Okay. Parents, give them the Cliff Notes. All right. If you haven't already moved them, I see you already probably did. They don't want to, black people don't like to talk about the rape that goes on in their own homes. They don't want to talk about the the amount of issues that go on in their own neighborhoods, the black on black crime that goes on in their own neighborhoods. They talk about, well, I'm gonna beat my child so the world don't have to beat him. No, you beat them the same way that white person that you claim is the person that's doing all the things that you're doing is doing. And then when someone wants to ask you, why is your child fucked up? Why do they have to recover from their childhood? Why do they have to rebuild their life? Then you want to blame a white person because it's your fault. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know a lot of you who are here because you hate us and you want us dead. Hi, I know. Poor you. I know a lot of you that are sitting here that hate us don't understand common fucking sense because it's not common. I know those of you who are our enemies that are sitting here don't understand a rational thought, a logic train of thought. I know that you don't, because your ignorant dumbass is still the reason that we are still in sex slavery today. So I know a lot of you who cannot get your shit together are the reason that we're still going in circles for this war. I know you don't understand what I'm saying. I know you're that fucking ignorant and you don't understand what I'm saying. I have common sense. I'm a little hot right now, but I got common sense. I know you don't understand or can fathom what the hell I am saying to you right now. But trust me, that's a you issue. That's not my issue. That's not her issue. That's not anybody else's issue, but yours. You understand what I'm saying? So for those who can't get that, the only thing that they can do is kill someone. The only thing that they can do is threaten someone. The only thing that they can do is pull a gun on someone. That's the issue. That's where we at. You understand that? So now you have these people weaponizing other followers and other people to say, hurt this white woman because she's making a little bit too much sense. Racist, pathetic, simple-minded, stupid, spineless, sorry son of a... Go ahead before I don't stop.
All right. The other